How's everyone doing? I just wanted to do a little bit of a Uranus and Gemini just check in collectively, but also just channel message because I feel like it's such a huge monumental time. There's so much release and renewal happening and switching gears and, certain levels of like familiarity and like components assembling that help make things feel different and smoother in certain ways. So much to talk about, so much to do. So I'm just going to go through the cards and we're going to get into this powerful ass energy. It's once in a lifetime for me what's happening, and I just want to make sure that I'm carrying out business operations, because why would we ever want to cease on the business operations when history is turning up? So this is definitely one of those historic times for me, and just so much is transforming with me and my vessel that I just am trying to capture all of the ways that I'm so radically different, but also exactly the same. So God made the light of my spirit really carry your word to the ears, hearts, minds, soul, spirits that need to hear this. It's always been my prayer for that to be exactly the case. But yeah, I just thank you guys so much. We're really, monopolizing on the you're the fire horse, strike while the iron's hot type of thing at the studio. So we're trying to really amp up and build up capacity. I've been really working on myself to make sure I can do this sort of 24-hour stream, and I think I've been really carrying out. So we're going to just see what Uranus and Gemini messaging happens right now. It's not even about the transit. I'm just trying to do a message for right now, but it's just because of Uranus and Gemini, just so you girls know. Definitely taking note that at 29, my card abilities are really just completely increasing all the time, which is great. Just a lot of new. I feel like I'm in a space where there's so many new languages for me to really show and speak and let my spirit speak. So it's it's cool. Thank you, spirit. Let's see if we can one last shot. Message for right now, spirit. So, right off of the back, something that I feel is extremely positive. It's we have this path that is obviously not being embarked on, right? Why would this combination be in the reverse? Full in reverse, the Five of Swords in reverse, right? That lose-lose situation. It's this connected energy with this Empress frequency is there's an Empress frequency where it's this leads to that. This leads to a loss. I think this is a big message about what Uranus and Gemini really is innovating on at this time. And I think it has to do with the maternal sacrificial wound. To be a mother, I feel like we're redefining what mothering is, right? Because mothering in practice isn't actually even just the physicality of birthing a new human, right? Because I feel we feel the need to tether the creative part of mothering or the nurturing part of mothering or the guiding part of mothering to the fact that it has the opportunity to do it on something that it its own DNA litter, but this to me talks about how I feel this becomes unsustainable now. I feel this is where the trad wife makes no sense, right? Because there's a new rising, right? Because what would be happening here with that Empress frequency is that, and I think, and this is a deep purge, because if the mother archetype is up for, an ascended upgrade, it would only make sense that perhaps, like I said, the Fool, this is something that's happening back at the root. It's like no longer feeling like when I'm in the Fool archetype or when my inner child is going something, like that looks like a lose-lose. The sacrifices of mother. You know, the ways that who we are and what we are connected to something unfair, something unjust, maybe even. But it's just a huge start. It's like there's something connected to like this old archetype of mothering being sacrificial that makes people no longer want to commit down this path, because it looks like the Fool. This is definitely would be foolish, because this would just be like literally a lose-lose. Very, very early on. So let's just see what we're talking about. It's just spirits, messages. Let's see what we got, where this goes. Really awesome. And I feel like there's a collective pivot, because if the mothering wound is being addressed, right, where the parts of like, well, in order to be a mom, I'd have to like sacrifice this, and it's like there's an emotional intelligence that's being developed right now in the circuitry of the brain, because you can make these types of upgrades when Uranus goes into Gemini, right? When Uranus is at home and it's an air sign, like Gemini, it can expand every single fucking new thought that Gemini has. And to me, it's like, you know, with that ability coming in bustiering, I feel like people are developing emotional intelligence, right? It is an emotionally intelligent thought to be like, well, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the metaphor is, if we're talking about having kids or being a parent or being a mom or whatever, but the truth is like, can you look at something and know that for you, that would be a lose-lose, and can you still put the boundary in place? That's what's being collectively, like, that's what's being asked of right now. Because it looks like, for the most part, it's like being taken away by soulful living, 8 of Pentacles, spirited living. You know, you're busy living and doing and being the thing. But this is what came up for debate today. And it's funny today because I had to transmute such a heavy negative experience. And so I shared with you guys, a lot of times I'm just taking videos at work because I'm being asked to do too much without enough provisions to be able, you know, so whatever. But today I had an order that came in. So when I have like weird orders that are like really like novelty things we offer that like you may not always have like a guidance or whatever over, I just try to remember, like, if I am getting assistance with something, I try to record it just so I can like reference back videos and stuff. When you're working in kitchen, it's easier for me. So anyways, I'm making the heart-shaped pizza today, and it happens to be that there's like this demon that walks into the store. And they're obviously a demonic frequency because they were just like really repelled by like the high vibration. So it's just the irony of like, would you believe that like the art that I shared, even just with like what, like how I went and tried to make my pizza, like when I showed my husband like the video of me making the pizza, he's like, this is the person, this is the incident where someone left the store and was like so disgusted with me. It was like, so it's like a long story. Anyways, so all of that to say is the couple that was upset was like this black vegan lesbian couple with their like daughter. And I feel like their energy when they walked into our store, our peaceful store, was they got immediately rejected. They were definitely like on a different timeline than the store was. But the issue is like they kind of perpetuated that feeling of like motherhood being a sacrifice, even lesbianism kind of being rooted in that sort of antiquated understanding of like motherhood. You know, the idea that like it's a fallacy that just because we want to have gender expression expansion or like sexual orientation expansion, like in terms of the thing, that we also would have to like include and arc it back to mothering. Like to be queer inherently means like maybe we're not raising extra life. I think there's just like a lot of conversations we're saying, and I think it's all weird, you know, to be gay and be like, but yeah, I'd still like to have a kid one day. Like, I don't know. I guess it's like, to me, it's like that's not emotional intelligence. We're talking about how we like to fuck, and then you're talking about kids, which are not just like a byproduct, unfortunately, of fucking, you know. They're not actually that in practice, even though that is what in practice you go be doing. So finally, it looks like this inner child, I feel like Aries is like full in reverse, right? All this Aries energy in the cosmos is like, no, it's a lose-lose. It's the type of like emotional intelligence where it's like we won't engage. There is some negativity that's coming out at this time because of the upgrades we're receiving, where it really is better to just not engage it anymore, right? Yeah.
a boundary gets put up because it's just like, let's not. Because it's like, don't bother me, I'm working. Is that not always been what it is? Like, you know what I mean? With big art guys, it's like we're like working, dude. Like, so it's kind of just like you're kind of annoying. It's not what it's not.
Every time.
I would be the dumbest motherfucker to go into a sword suit with you guys. That's what I'm saying. There's like something about where it's like, if this is in front of you, this is 3D freaking shit. This is like the war frequency. This is getting drafted. Under spiritual warfare. And today I had to really be like, no. Because not everything
Is war.
Just because I am a light worker does not mean every single fucking battle. Saratoga is mine to claim. Sometimes it really is better to be like, no, yeah. Because that's what I'm saying. It was like a lot of, because look at this. This is transmuting negativity. This is such a negative experience. Again, the two moms that came in were just so much giving this energy of like, they were experiencing and like living out and representing the energy of like that endemic mother. Because it's weird that in lesbianism, like the mother archetype is like a part of it. Like it's almost like the internalized homophobia being like, I gotta wash this sin clean. So I gotta, if maybe people accept my like just fucking horrid sexual orientation, if I have a kid that I'm like raising and still committing to, it's like that type of wound.
Yeah.
Not good though, because it's like, do you realize that that's like the type of shit that's like lose-lose? Because it's like you're walking around unable to, it's like the things that you're building and connecting to this imaginary child in the situation, right? It's just not actually connected to, it's not connected, it's like, yeah, everybody would lose in that situation. Because that's a situation where there's emotional intelligence that's not been developed. And it is scary when people are taking leadership positions that they don't have the emotional intelligence for.
What we were just talking about today.
You get me?
It's like scary.
It's scary and inappropriate. But I find that this is happening deeply interpersonally. This is also a really great time to really get technical about making sure your work services you really well. Uranus and Gemini. Really fine-tuning and tweaking like what your work life is, what your, like what, you know, just like optimizing the way that you flow in certain things, like really thinking about like, what do I really get out of something? What is in this current, maybe in current, what am I fucking saying? In this current, it's this fucking ginger candy. I'm just like,
It's so
it's just fucking gingery, but in this current task that I'm on, like what am I really getting out of it? What's the most important thing? Like what would be most useful? You know, you can do a lot of that good stuff because this can help you really get out ahead of anything that might lead to a dead end, you know? Or again, just like this energy where it's like you get kind of drafted into some shit you don't want to be in because you don't have strong boundaries. I saw that firsthand today where it's like my boundaries made or break what was going to be happening for me. 1000%.
Every time.
Okay. And like I said, so the price of having a regulated nervous system right now, like let's just talk about the Four of Swords, the ability to like rest, right? Five of Swords reverse. You don't even want to go there. This is also how God is like, you're blocked out because you're not there. Like this is the fifth dimension, but if you're still low vibrational, when you get to the fifth dimension, you get rejected. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you feel a sense of rejection, it's just because of the misalignment of like what you can't reach. You're not in the upright. You're not actually at the full. You haven't died to self. So there's like that's why you can't get past the boundary of it all. You get what I'm saying? And again, how hard did you go in your ascension? That's how far you're going to be right now. Eight of Pentacles. It's like how soulfully do you really live is where you're really going to be. again, this is just the parameters that we're all observing. You could skate right past this bridge and have the keys and be ascended, and we would know. This is definitely that time where I told you guys to be prepared, where we'll just have to meet each other where we got to meet each other, because it's like every man for himself type of shit. But Four of Swords, let's say that you know that going, this is also where God told you to retreat. I think there was a big part of Uranus and Gemini that was like, fall back into what you, like, some of you don't realize, like, you really shouldn't have kept sending it, like, into the next.
Yeah.
You were kind of being asked to, like, go back to the hyper local thing. So again, if you girls are still going out past the third house, past your neighborhood, past your local community, that's as far as that reaches. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like the delivery zone of the pizza place. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So this would be saying God is asking us and requesting that we do the Four of Swords thing, which is to fall back and rest on our truth so that we don't hurt it. We're not hurting ourselves.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, I know my baby's right there with me on this message, but it's like, yeah, fall back on your truth, because that's where the abundance is going to be. Because it was about God showing you, we don't always have to push it to the 5. You don't got to take everything to compete. If your truth in the new earth is very new, just rest on it. Because maybe that's better than starting this new beginning like this. Because I think what some of you did is you thought this was the old world, I guess, so then you just ran into the 5D, and your truth is you don't know how to yield it because you don't even know what the task is in the 5D. And it just looks like it ends badly. It looks like everyone loses because it's like you got, again, remember the kick in the teeth? The kick in the dick from the fucking Year of the Fire Horse? That's kind of what it gives.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the kick in the dick that you would get, because it's just like you immediately did something very foolish that got you blocked. That could also just be what it is. Trying to engage in that, where it's like everybody loses, or just like trying, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that can get you. This is like a swift motion. This is someone who does something foolish and wants to try to see if they can make somebody feel like a loser. That's what I get. It's like that energy. It's like as soon as you're in Gemini, it's like that bullying frequency. You're just like trying to make somebody feel like a loser, and then it's like I don't think you realize like the position that you're sitting in. Because God would have played you that way. God would have had you, because you're the type of bitch with a low consciousness that thinks it's funny. So you're like, oh, this person's a loser. I'm going to try to make them out to be a loser because you're losing the plot. Like, again, Dennis's boss used a great term today. We're in war-torn times. So just, like, do with that information what you will. Like, some of you girls really love to disassociate, like, we're not where we are. So that's why we're looking at you like, what the fuck are you actually doing? Because so when war breaks out, that's what you're going to write in your history books, is that what were you doing?
Yeah.
Being not mindful at all that that's what's happening. You know, when we call war, we're spending trillions upon trillions of dollars, like, to do that. So, you know, it's not like the economy isn't completely getting fucking dick sideways. That's why the gas is where it is. That's why everything is where it is. But you're not going to correlate any of that. It's just you doing whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
And getting nothing out of it. That's the other thing. It's really just about how you guys are going to come back from all the fucking exploitation of this planet and not feel like you're not even going to live worthy lives. It's going to be really horrible. But that's what I feel. It's like some people don't expect that type of, like, boundary. But I don't know why you wouldn't expect that. Because, again, if you were able to, at this time, Uranus and Gemini, rest on that truth, no worries. I genuinely believe that's where it was. There was an Ace of Cups for that faith. For the faith that it's like, what if we just said no to war? Because it looks like the people who wanted the Five of Swords reverse got blocked. The people who fell back on their healing and just continue are being given an Ace of Cups. And what that's bringing out in the collective, the two different experiences are definitely just showing and showcasing what is deceptive. So people know who's a liar right now for sure. For sure. Just like I said. Someone's healed, someone's not. Someone's lack of healing makes them look very foolish. And again, it's an emotional maturity thing. It's like you're not emotionally mature. Life has not matured you, obviously. Because something that this is someone who just like completely like foot on the gas, like splat ruins it. This is just like, I'm gonna fall back. This is like a liability type of frequency. But again, when one falls back and gets an Ace of Cups, it just really shows what was deceptive. It also really shows the person who like fell back what stealing from themselves would look like. It would look like what that is, being a fool. Because you understand, to participate in war says that that's the best thing we can think of doing. That's what's offensive about it to me in terms of God. It's like, war is the best we got. Really? And I feel like that's kind of the frequency here.
Like choosing war.
Choosing war, and then it got you, like, you look stupid.
War's over.
Because war's over if you want it to be. So now so then just don't be surprised when people are like, you're the type of nigga that wants war. Because it looks like you would have just like, right. And I feel like there's a deep energy of someone needing to steal this 10th cup because they're just like so bitter, because it's like, there you go. That's why you're able to heal and rest on this truth, because it's like, again, 9 of Cups. It's like you're really trying to source the shit yourself. Another reason why the fucking 5 of Swords in reverse is just not. Again, in spiritual immaturity, your rank is so low. That's why you would do some dumb botched shit like this. You don't know how this works. Because there's so much to protect. Recent past 4 of Pentacles, Page of Swords. I think too, the recent past, one of the things that I'm like really that's what I mean. This is also what the story is. There's an energy that needs to heal and is doing that, but it's like there's an Ace of Cups that's being restored, renewed by God. There's a discrepancy frequency, 7 of Swords, which is where something is stealing from something. But it's almost like it's in between. Like someone has a 10 of Cups situation and there's just all this stuff. This is what's in between it from feeling like this. Because something is actually lovers. This is what it is, buried. Something is lovers. And I think there's just like a lot of competition of like, who's the empress to the lover situation. But here's how we're gonna find out. It's like a group effort. It's like, we've got to heal the warrior wound, Aries energy, and rest on our truth. At the same time, where it's like we have this new Ace of Pentacles, which or Ace of Cups, which gives us such an emotional renewal that it helps us see what would be stealing from ourselves, right? Because 9 of Cups, Ace of Swords. Let's see what's crowning Uranus and Gemini. All of this to say, the path that you're choosing to walk down, you have the strength in the Chariot. All aspects of yourself really want this beginning for you, and you have tamed the beast that would like fuck this up for you, and you are strong enough to carry how much it asks. If you'll excuse me, I wish you a very happy Uranus and Gemini. I'm gonna go to sleep now. I'm transforming.